Privacy and security. If you've had a chance to look at your syllabus, you know that there is a large quantity of reading to be accomplished in this particular module. There's really no way to avoid that. There is a large body of work around this issue, and you need to be familiar with it in order to accomplish the role of a health IT professional. In deference to that, however, we're going to run this module across 2 weeks' time, concentrating in the first week on getting through the readings, getting a familiarity with it, having you develop questions that you have for me or for your peers, and then participating in a discussion group. In the second week, then we'll go ahead and do a little bit deeper dive, accomplish some activities around the material, some assessment questions, and then a discussion forum as well. Privacy and security is a major portion of your job, and how well you learn this particular part will really help form your success. The HIPAA is a large portion of this. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It really does inform most of the decisions you're going to be making as a health IT professional in this area. And it is long. So you definitely want to start on your readings as soon as possible. While you're doing that, however, you don't want to concentrate on memorizing items. There's no possible way to memorize it all. What we need to concentrate is on understanding the key elements to a really fine degree, and then just having the general familiarity with the rest of it and knowing where to look when you have to do that deeper dive. Having said all that, let's talk about some of the key concepts that you're going to be looking for in your readings and trying to understand on a deep level. Chief among these is the idea of when can I access somebody's clinical data? When do I have the right to look, to deal with the data in a personal way? Treatment, payment, and operations are the categories that authorize you to access someone's clinical data. Treatment is pretty obvious. If somebody's providing actual treatment to a client, they can access their clinical data. If you're doing payment, processing claims, or you're a payer organization, you will have access to data. And operations, which is generally where you and I fall, managing data, managing interfaces, dealing with quality. The next concept that's very key is there is a constraint on those three access rights, and that is that you can only have the minimum data set necessary to accomplish your task. Just because I'm doing claims processing does not mean I get to see everything that's in somebody's clinical record. I get to see what's necessary to accomplish my task. And that's not a task in general. It's like sometimes I might need to see all their data, and sometimes I need to see a little bit of their data, so I should just see all their data all the time. It really is about the minimum necessary to accomplish that task. And that also goes into our operational roles as we're dealing with data and different processes that move data around or secure data. There is also specially protected data within those data sets. I can be a treatment provider and have access to data because I'm providing treatment, but there's this specially protected data such as 42 CFR clinical data related to chemical dependency. If I'm not providing a service where that's necessary, I may not have access to that data. That also applies to mental health and some socially stigmatizing diseases. And so you're going to need to be familiar with those sorts of things to a fine detail. As far as the security goes, really the privacy part of this module is the more heavily weighted. Security, you're going to use the same sorts of tools that you use everywhere to provide security. You know, passwords, role-based access to data, biometrics in some cases, encryption, all the usual tools that you would use to secure any data. The difference in this is the granularity that can go down to sometimes in how you protect things. It goes way down in certain cases. It's not just general security. You can't get into my database unless you pass this particular test. It's broken way down into small granular data. Hence the importance of understanding the rules around access. So, to restate, please don't try to memorize this. Learn the key elements, ask good questions about those elements, and you shouldn't have any trouble getting through this particular section.